Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's Shino, and we're back in Modded to the Magical Max. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing good. Last episode, we started working on our Hakobi-te stuff down here in this little hidden bunker area. And I wanted to get this area kind of cleared up. I have done that. I haven't quite settled on if this is the way I'm going to have it set up yet. But, for now, it's working. I did move everything over here. I made another primitive electric forge. Got rid of the other forge that I had here. And then this is all set up the way it was over here. Just moved everything over to this area. And then kind of tucked all the wiring back in behind the wall. Just to give us a little bit of hiding space there. I think that'll work. Also, between episodes, went ahead and made some of the soft metal presses. Now, there's a couple of things I do want to talk about in this episode. In particular, one thing about the Hakobi-te mod, and two about the Modpack in general. But let's finish going over this first. What I did is I went ahead and made the soft metal presses. These are all low voltage items, so I need 4 blocks to manufacture. These items can be put into a series because you'll see in the description they all say they input from the left side and the output to the right side. So you can put this item next to that item and next to that item, and then you can feed stuff in, and this will make the metal plates. This one will make the metal rods. Will turn the metal plates into metal rods, and then this one will turn the metal rods into the screws. Now, this only uses the soft metal, so you can't use these for iron. You can't use these for steel. So this is where you can move. You make copper plates, which is one of the things I've been doing here. You can make copper rods. You can make, what's the other rod? Brass, I know. What's the other one? Tin. But you can't make the iron or steel. So copper, brass, or tin, those are the ones that you can make. Can't make the other one. So what I've done is each one of these machines can be turned on or turned off depending on selection. You can use a screwdriver for doing this, or you can right click with an empty hand to turn them on, turn them off. I've got all these turned to off right now. So what I can do is if I want to make some plates, and again, if I want to make brass or tin, copper, molybdenum, anything other than iron or steel, I can put the heated ingots into here and turn this on, and it'll pull the ingots in, make the plates, and kick them out to this side. So you remember a few episodes back where I was talking about, having to use charcoal. Well, now we're at the point where we can do metalworking without needing to do charcoal, and we can do some metalworking without even having to use the Helve hammer if we so choose. So if I need to make plates or rods or screws, I can turn these machines on, drop the raw metal into here, and it'll kick out the other side. Cool? I think it's pretty good. Secondly, I've left this here for now. I still haven't decided. I probably will use this generator hooked up in here someplace. I definitely want to have fire pits down here because I still need to use crucibles. I still need to use ingot molds and all that. There's ways that I can make ingots over here, but that's going to take us to kind of part 2 or part 3, part 2 of this conversation I want to have. So the Hakobi-te mod is not going to be continued. Quentin did do an update for 120 just for some of the maintenance stuff, to kind of to repair what's been changed. But he's not going to be adding anything new. There's no going forward on this. Mr. Andy Dandy has been doing much of the work with Hakobi-te. Been helping out with some of the textures, but he's also working with what is going to be the successor for this mod, working with Flexible Games. And I mentioned this, I think, last episode, that Vintage Engineering is going to be the successor to Hakobi-te. So we're going to be using vintage engineering going forward. Any new mod packs that we develop are going to have vintage engineering going into them. I like Hakobi-te. I mentioned this last episode. It's the OG for me. It's kind of like Buildcraft. Whenever I first got started with modded Minecraft, Buildcraft was big and new and fancy, and you know the pipes and the quarry and all that kind of cool stuff. Um, and so this is kind of the original OG for me. I like it from nostalgia's sakes, but you know, we're gonna move forward. We're gonna progress. Um, Next thing, talking about the mod pack. If you go and try to download the mod pack from the Vintage Story Discord or from the um, Shino Gaming Discord community, that mod pack is gone. Recent terms of service and agreement with the mod database for Vintage Story means that I cannot distribute a mod pack, a custom built mod pack anymore, unless I get agreed upon or get the permission by all of the mod developers. I'm going to start working through that process. I do want to deliver mod packs for a tailored experience to people who want to do that and don't want to have to, you know, go through and do their own mod packs. But I want to do it the right way. I want to support the mod developers in every way I can. And so I'm going to hold off on distributing the mod packs anymore until I can get permission from the mod owners to be able to do that. I think that I don't find that as a bad thing at all. I don't think the mod developers are going to say, no, you can't use our mod packs, or you can't use our mod in your mod pack. But I still want to do it the right way because they're deserving of it. They do a fantastic job in bringing us their mods. They don't ask for a lot in exchange. And I try to support them any chance I get by promoting their mods and getting people to go and support them on their Patreon, to support them, to send them coffees, whatever it is, to tell them thank you for what they do. So my part, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to abide by the terms and service terms and conditions, the TOS, and I am going to get with the mod developers and get their permission to add them to the mod pack. Now, if you are a member of the Shino Gaming Discord community and you are playing on the community server, then you will be getting your mods directly from the mod database on the Vintage Story website. So that's completely legal. I just can't distribute them myself from my own site at this moment. I'll find a way to be able to do it, hopefully, and we'll be back up and running. Cool? Okay. All that said, today's episode, what are we going to be doing? We're going to be making steel, buddy. It is time to get into the steel age here in Vintage Story. And when I had Varus on my server, we talked about this area right here, and that I was going to probably put the what you call it, the cementation furnace was kind of going to go into here. I have since changed my mind on that. I'm not going to put the cementation furnace in there. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the cementation furnace downstairs, right here in this wall, or over here in this wall. I haven't decided exactly which one yet, but that's what we're going to be figuring out in this episode. So today we're going to go through the process of making steel in Vintage Story. All right, there's a few things that we're going to need, so we're going to start collecting that stuff right here in this chest. For example, I know that we're going to need some powdered borax, so let's go ahead and grab that. We're also going to need some solid stone, and I would like to use andesite because that's what I have the most of right now. So let's grab, we'll just go ahead and take all that. Cool. Let's go back downstairs. We're going to put this stuff into here. We're going to need to make some iron pieces. So let's go ahead and grab, let's grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8. I don't think I have iron. I do have iron plates. Where am I storing the iron plates at? I'm not sure, but I do have some iron plates, so that's good. All right, let's go ahead and take the iron plates that we've got here. We've got 5. Let's go ahead and take all of those, and we're going to put them over here. But I'm still going to go ahead and take these 8 iron with us. We're going to make a few things over here. Put these on here like this. Isn't that cool? And do I have the things with me? I do not. Do I have a hammer up here? Nope, I have a hammer here. I have a hammer here, and I have some tongs. Cool. And let's turn this on for a second, and let's make another plate. And I would like to make a chisel. Iron chisel. There we go. Only got one, that's fine. And then let's go ahead and make another hammer. Here. All right, we're going to make another coke oven door here. Okay, now that we've got 6 plates, we're going to need to go in and make the iron door. So we'll just do this. There we go. Perfect. And we can put that in there now. All right, so for the steel making, in your handbook, you can hit H, go on your handbook, go under guides, and you can click on game mechanics, steel making. This is going to walk you through the process of what you're going to need to do to make your, to construct your cementation furnace. That is the first part. That's the first thing you're going to need to do to be able to make steel in the game. You're going to need to make the refractory bricks. You can make tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. You can mix them together. So, you can make however you want to make it. That's entirely up to you. In the very beginning, when you're first making steel, you're not going to be able to make the tier 3 bricks. Let's go in and take a look because you're going to need the ilmenite, which is the titanium. And you can't get titanium until you have a tier 4 already, which is you're going to have to get or tier 5, whatever it is. You got to get to steel to be able to get the titanium. And then you need the tier 4 pulverizer, which I don't think I've got that yet. So there are, I'm going to take a look. I do want to make sure. Pulverizer caps. All right, so I've got meteoric iron. Yeah, see, those are tier 3 on that. Steel pounder cap, that's tier 4. So when you first make your cementation furnace, that's going to be to get your steel for the first time. Then you need your steel to make your steel pickaxe. You make your steel pulverizer caps, and then you can go mine the ilmenite and process it to make the tier 3. So for right now, we're only going to be able to make either the tier 1 or the tier 2. Tier 2 is not that difficult. Well, let's go back first. Let's take a look at the tier 1. So for the tier 1 bricks, you're going to have crushed quartz and crushed bauxite. So those are the first 2 things that you're going to need. And you're going to need to have fire clay. Or again, this is on version 1.19.8. So, take that for what it's worth. If you're watching this and you're playing already on 120, it's going to look different to you. But for right now, this is what we are going to be doing with 119.8. We're going to need fire clay. We're going to need the crushed quartz, and we're going to need the crushed bauxite. Now, I have already been processing that stuff. So we've got a goodly amount of crushed quartz and crushed bauxite. And you'll also see I've got olivine here. And if we go back and we look at the tier 2, the tier 2 bricks are what you need where you need the olivine. So it's just like the tier 1, but then you're adding in the olivine. Okay? Same thing. When you go to tier 3, it's just like this, except you're now adding in the ilmenite. So each time you step up a tier, you got to add one. So we're going to start off making our first cementation furnace. And right now, I'm not going to worry about making it a tier 2. We're just going to start off making them as tier 1 bricks. So this is what we're going to need. Going back and looking at the guide for steel making, you can see we're going to need around 65 blocks of the refractory bricks. Okay. So that means we're going to need at least 2 stacks of that, 2 stacks of that, and we're going to need 4 stacks of fire clay bricks, or fire clay. So there is our tier 1 bricks. And you'll see we've got 64. And when we go to fire these, we're going to need to make this refractory brick tier 1. That's what we're going to need to be making. And you'll see that it takes 8 of these to get 2. So we're going to need to do this, that. Make another stack of 64. And then we're going to go ahead and make sure we've got just a few extra. Here, let's put it in right here. So we're going to need a 7x7 area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's move this thing. Oh, that should give us enough space there now. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I don't need this whole space. You know, you don't need to be 7 wide for this. You don't need to have a 7x7, but I do like to have a little extra space whenever I put these in, and I can fill in around it. You know, we need the function of it, but then we're also going to want the form to work on it as well. So we want it to look good. Okay, you've seen me do the honeycombing. I've showed that. I don't think I have talked about these yet in this series, but these are called splitter plugs. And each tier that you can do allows you to do a larger area. So these are iron. So they can do a 6x6x6 area. I don't need to do that big on this, this time through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this as a 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to do a 4x5 area. We put these in like this. And then we hit them. They go in. Okay, and then we do the top as well. And what these do in real life is these expand along the natural fissures and cracks of stone, and they cause large chunks of stone to break free. What they do in Vintage Story is they give you a large stone slab, and within that slab, we have 80 pieces of andesite. And that andesite takes on this, it can either be this form, which is the stones if we wanted to, or we could use or we could use a different type of chisel and we could get the solid rock off of it. Or we could use another chisel and we could get the cut stones off of it. So each way that we do, or I'm sorry, the bricks. So each way we do it gives us the opportunity to either get polished rock, cut rock, stones, or bricks, depending on the type of chisel that we use on that. These are great for moving around because you can put these into, you can break these. I've got this down. I can break it with a chisel. I can put it inside a chest. And now I'm storing, a whole lot of stone right there in that spot. And then you get your chisels back. Only durability you're using on this then at the current rate is just on the hammer. But there are some mods that you can use that will add durability to the splitter plugs as well. Next pieces that we are going to need are going to be the coffin pieces. The coffin pieces are where we're going to be putting in the charcoal and the iron, and we'll seal those up inside these coffins. So we're going to need 2 of those. We're also going to need the coffin lid. There it is. Coffin lids. Basically the same thing, but this is where you're going to put in your borax. Right there. You need 2 of these as well. So you're going to need 2 coffin sections and 2 lids. Okay, so we have already talked about the bricks. We've got those in process right now. We're also going to need to make the refractory brick gratings. So I'll probably have to go ahead and get some more fire clay brick or fire clay going. That's no big deal. And then we need the iron door. We've got that right there. Is done. The 2 stone coffin pieces. We've got those there and there. Cool. Okay, so we are now just waiting for this out here to finish up. And it looks like we've got about 6 more hours. So let's go ahead and gather up some more fire clay while we wait for that. All right, made a trip out, got some more clay, and made 59 more of the refractory bricks. Now I did level up in collecting. I got 1 more point in digging. I went ahead and added it to clay digger. That seems to be what I'm going to be digging the most of. Peat is good. I don't mind that. I don't mind some of these other ones. I do like this one though, the scrap detector. I've not been doing a lot of sand lately, but when you do the grand or I'll spit it out. When you do the gravel or sand, you have a chance of some items dropping as if it were a sieve. So I almost went with the scrap specialist, which would help give you like some more of the rare items, but I decided for now I'll be just fine with that. Sweet. Okay, it's gonna be a little irritating. We'll come over here for now. All right. So here's how I kind of do it. I know that I'm gonna need a 5x5 area. Okay, and so I'm gonna have it kind of stick out here just a little bit. So let's say that that's gonna be the face of it right here, right? And then it'll be 5x5 from there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and we're going to dig out this back part right here. Just like that. Okay. And you'll see why we do that here in just a moment. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to build a 3x3 or a 2x3 grate here. Okay. And it'll be there, 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 and there, and there. Now that should be where we need the center of everything to be. I'm going to grab these coffin pieces. Okay, and I just need the two lower coffin pieces for now. And I'm going to put another block just right there. Okay, and I'm going to do that. And then we'll pop up here. And I'm going to do that. All right, now I should be able to shift click on this. And it's going to show me the overlay of where everything's going to have to be at. Cool. So this is what the entire structure is going to look like. And now it's a matter of, just filling in the blanks of what we need here. You'll see, it'll tell you when something's wrong. You see how that's red right there? It says, nope, that's not supposed to be there. That's supposed to be. You're going to get into areas, pay particular attention because you'll see like these pieces aren't lined up on there. So you can always add more blocks, but you can't be missing a block. Okay, so I'm going to need 1 and then 2, 3, 4, 8, 9. 9 more blocks. Yeah, it looks like 9 more blocks. Okay, I'll be back. There we go. Don't ever worry too much about like, oh, I made too many refractory bricks. After each time you make the steel, you're gonna have to come through and replace some of these. So once you've made a couple, you're gonna keep making them. So don't worry about that. Just keep making. I'm gonna have to go out and definitely pick up a lot more bauxite. Not worried about the level of quartz that I've got. I think I'm good there, but definitely gonna need some more bauxite. If your wireframe goes away on this, you can always just look at that one more time and shift right click again, and that will put it all back. And it tells you, I'm missing 11 blocks. We've already done kind of the maths on that because we're going to need 2 blocks here, which is going to be the door. Let's go and put it on. There we go. So if I look at it now and I hit that and I go back to it, it says 9 blocks are missing now. So that takes up 2 blocks. Cool. Let's get this done. So that goes there. Those go there. Those go there. And you just a filler block. Put in. I usually do like that. There. There. And there. Cool. I'm going to get rid of all these extra blocks now. You don't have to. You can leave them there if you want. However you want to do it. Entirely up to you. I'm going to get rid of that. That. Cool. Now, I should be able to shift right click. And you see I'm getting no more messages now. That's how you know it's a completed structure. Now, this is not ready to work yet. And I'll explain why. There are, you're going to have to put some fuel down underneath here. So I'm going to go right here in the center. And I'm going to pop this out. And I'm going to pop it out 3 blocks there. go ahead and do that just so we can get to it. So this area right here, we're going to have to put, is we're going to have to put the fuel in at. And what I always like to do is I like to have a solid surface I can work off of. And then I like to put the coke oven door in front of it. You don't have to. You're only going to be putting the fuel right there in that area. But I like having the coke oven door on there just kind of for aesthetics. Is why I like to have it. And then usually I'll come back in and I'll end up like lowering this area down just a skosh, just to give me a little more space for maneuvering down and around here. So now I can come down here, I can open this up, I can put the charcoal in there and light it up, and it's good to go. That is the assembled cementation furnace. Now, let's get some steel going. Too far. One more down. So we're going to need to, again, we're going to need fuel that's going to go in the fuel area. And we're going to have to fill that 2 or 3 times. So that's why, having a large source of coal is going to be real important. Now, I don't have a whole lot of charcoal in here now. I'm looking at it. But we can make do. Let me go ahead and harvest this up. All right, hey folks, this is Shino from the future. So just realized I lost all that footage of me filling this thing up. We had some storms moving through the area, and I think, if I recall, it ended up wiping out OBS while I was in the middle of recording. So anyways, let's go through this process of showing how to fill this thing up. So we've got everything done here. We've got the coffin in the center. We're going to start off by holding the shift key, and you're going to put in a layer of charcoal, and then you're going to put in 4 iron ingots. Another layer of charcoal, 4 ingots, and it'll tell you when you can't put anything else in, so you can just hold down, and it'll tell you when you got to do something else there. See, so it's saying, hey, add some carbonized metal. There you go. Stone coffin is now full. Cool. And then we put the lid on. And put the lid on there. There you go. That is now full. And then you come around here to the back and you put your fuel source in the back. And you light it up. There we go. Cool. All right. Go back to the video. Once you got your coffin full, you're going to put your fuel source down here, and I'm going to use black coal for this. Light it up, and once it's lit, you should be able to come back around and see these messages in here. See, it says, okay, receives heat and carbonization, 0% complete. This is a dangerous area, okay? Don't go in there. You'll die. Not right away, but it will cause quite a bit of damage to you. So bear that in mind. Don't go in there. You can see everything you need to see, and you can tell it's working by just looking right here. Okay. Now, this is going to take ages for this to finalize. And I mean, a couple of days. So if your fuel source runs out, it won't lose ground. It'll just kind of stop at where it's at. So if you're at, 24, 20, 28% when it stops, when you come back and put fuel source and relight it, it'll still be at 28%. Okay. So don't worry about that. You will lose a little bit of efficiency because it's got to get back up to temperature. But that's, at least you're not losing a lot of ground. You will have to go through at least 2 full and a partial to get this done. um, on your fuel source. So typically what I'll do is I'll fill it up completely twice, and then I'll start filling it like part of the way up, and then just kind of control, because it won't take a full 3 times for it to be done. Okay, like I said, this is going to take a couple days to do. I am not going to do this in a time lapse. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the magic of editing, and I'll come back when I go to redo the fuel source on this. Cool. See you in a minute. It's been almost a full in-game week since we got the steel going, and it's not done yet. It's getting close though. I think we're at like 92, 93%, I believe. Check it out. 93%. So it is 5 o'clock in the afternoon here in the game, 5 o'clock in the evening. So it's probably a pretty good chance that by morning, this thing will be done and ready to go. So I did clear out my inventory bag here. So I was going to go and start working on the beehives over there. But kind of getting a little late in the evening. So I'm going to sleep through the night, and hopefully come back in the morning. We'll have some iron ready to go, or some steel. Okay, see you in a minute. All right, let's go see where we're at on this. You'll see it's 4 a.m. Oh, that looks carbonization process complete. Break to retrieve the blister steel. Cool. All right, so we now have our steel. So we're going to break that, and then we'll come in here and we will grab these pieces up. You'll see that there's still some fire going down there. So we didn't quite use all of it. Let's go see how much we ended up using. All right, so we still got 6 and 6, so 12 more were left there. So I didn't quite get it figured up on that last one, but it's okay. You'll see we did get some of our charcoal back from whenever we did that process. We've got the coffin pieces back here, but you'll see that this one says damaged. That one's damaged. You see we've got several of these that are damaged. And so before we can do any more steel, we're going to have to make sure that we come through and replace all the damaged pieces. Pay attention, because sometimes your grating can become damaged as well. So you have to replace out your grating. So you may be, looking up here and think you got everything done. It's still not working, and that would be why. So pay particular attention to that. I'm going to leave the coffin pieces here. Now I've got 7 more refractory bricks that are already made up, and I need to get some more of the components together. Now, if you go with the tier 2, the degradation percentage goes down, so the opportunity for it to be damaged goes down. And just because this piece damaged and I replace it doesn't mean that it would last, through the next cycle. It could be damaged again. The game doesn't, quite work that way as far as the game code goes. When the process is done, it checks each block, and each block has a percent chance of being bad. All right, let's get working here for finishing off our blister steel. Same thing as you would get with iron. This blister steel is not quite ready to be used in anything yet. It's going to be turned into a steel ingot. And we do that by heating them back up and purifying them on the hammer. So we're going to do that next. And I'm curious, since I've got to do this on the hammer here, is there a chance I can get some extras off of this? That would be pretty cool. You'll see it's just knocking some slag off of it. So I'm going to grab that and I'll put it back on there. Okay, so we got 1. I'm curious if we're going to grab any extra off of here using our X skills abilities. All right, I'm going to finish this up and I'll be back. And the answer is yes, you do. So we originally had 16 ingots of blister steel. We ended up grabbing another 14 because of our X skills buffs from the work that we've been doing. That's pretty good. I know probably some people are going to say, "Oh, that's cheating." You know, you're getting extra ingots out of it without having to do the work. Yeah, we are. And part of that, I will go back and I will say, remember this set of mods I put together was designed really for running on a server. So where you have multiple people who are working the process simultaneously, trying to get ores at the same time. Resources can be a struggle. And so having the ability to be able to use X skills to increase upon not only your collecting, so being able to get extra ores from whenever I'm doing my mining, but also from a metalwork, being able to get some extras this way as well. That comes in very, very handy. All right, let's do a little bit of playing around here with these hives. So remember, this is just like during a normal hive. You are moving bees. So you're going to want to be in your bag slot and have an empty bag slot for doing that. So shift 3, that opens that up. And it's going to allow me to move this hive top. And I'm going to put that down right there. I don't need that right now. That's populated. That's my skep. Don't need to do anything with it. What I need is that right there. That is the piece that I'm going to need. And I'm going to go ahead and put it down right here. And we've got 2 of these. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a second one. And I'll put it down right next to it. We're going to open that hive. We're going to open the frame up. And you see now there's all of our frames. And this is what we get the honey or the beeswax off of, or the honeycomb. Cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put them inside this frame here. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. And then using our knife, we're just going to go through and do that right there. Now, every time you do this with a knife, that piece of linen is going to lose a little bit of durability. So you can usually harvest these about 10 times before you need to go back in and replace all of this. But, whoa, look at all that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 plus 5. And all of them, that's all of them. So from those 2, that's how much honey or honeycomb we got off of there. And I'm just going to point down here and you can see there's the durability, or it's 32. I'm sorry. So 32 is the durability on that. So these will last for a while. Okay, grab those, put them right back into the frame. Click on the edge. That's going to put it onto, it's going to close it back up. Go to your control 3, and that's going to put it back into your bag slot, and then you can go and put these back into place. There you go. Now your hive is ready to start going again. Pretty cool. And that is a lot of honey just from one harvest. Yeah, we're going to have to go through and get all of that process. Remember, we got another 20 over here, so we're going to end up with probably that much once again, once we get done with those. So you can see, I mean, if we were to do this one right here, we would have to destroy that hive, and we'd have to go back and make another skep and set it back down, have it be populated, right? So that's like the beginning of it. This is the stage 2 of the From Golden Combs mod. So I can pick up this top, I can put it down, and this one I don't have to put in my bag slot. That's the advantage doing this one. And I can do that, just like that, and then put it right back on top. And then it's ready to go again, right? And we didn't have to do anything with the bees. We didn't have to break it. And we didn't have to empty out a bag slot. So that's kind of the advantages of using those. You just don't get as much. You get about the same amount that you do from one of these whenever you do this. So you don't get any extra from doing that. These, though, are functioning basically like having 20 of those skeps all in one block. That's how that's functioning. So we can get a lot more bees in a smaller area if we wanted to. And I just flew right past them and didn't even pay attention. But look, we got 2 purple heart trees. They have popped up, and they are the big ones. Yes, lots of leaves. So I have a couple more purple heart seeds. Or no, I have a couple more purple hearts picked out of where I can go to grab a couple more. So I may run the risk. I may go ahead and chop these down and see if I can get some extra seeds out of these. But what I want to do is I do want to move these kind of into strategic areas around the base here. So we'll have to play around a little bit with those and if see if I want to move these. I might leave one of them. I don't know, but I like having the big tops on those. All right, folks, with making steel, we are now officially in the steel age, and the iron age is now complete in our Vintage Story playthrough. Next episode, we're going to start diving a little bit deeper into in-game stuff. We're going to take a lot of these Jonas parts that we've collected here, and we're going to start making some of the in-game Jonas pieces that you can make with Cuppernickel and the Jonas parts. So that should be a lot of fun. All right, folks. Hey, thanks for spending time with me. This is Shino, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.